nostalgia is about to hit a lot of people because your boy has been in the community since the beginning of the game. So I've been a part of every single new meta Nikke has ever had to offer, right? And I think for a lot of the older people who've played this game for a long time, just like myself, this one is going to unlock memories. And for some of the new people, you guys are about to learn something, right? Because maybe you guys wouldn't have known or thought about this, but before, I want to say a year and a half, realistically before Crown came out, right? Before, I guess, technically this new monstrous trio called Crown, Treasure, Helm, and Little Mermaid, right? There was a duo that was undeniably insane. Back then, we thought that it was going to be physically impossible for Nikke to ever replace this duo. Now, when I say this duo, I mean this solo character, right? Now, technically, it was a duo, but realistically, this character was carrying the team 90% of the time, right? Miss Blanc, right? And her partner was obviously Noir, because back then you needed to have both of them on the team because they were the only two people from the same squad, right? But the reason why this Blanc character was so broken back then was because back in the days, this shield she had was very good. It was a Senti shield. I mean, it was realistically, her shield was the least important thing about her kit. It's something you didn't even acknowledge, right? What really made her crazy was her skill 2 and her burst skill, right? So this is a character who was healing you non-stop. She healed you after the first full burst ends. She would heal you every single second that passed by. That's how crazy she was, right? But the thing that was this thing right here was like insane. She gave indomitability to one ally, right, with the lowest HP, and she gave them max HP. Now, if you don't know what indomitability is, basically for 10 seconds, no matter who it was who had that effect, no matter how much damage you did to them, they physically could not die. Now, I'm worried that they might give this character a favorite item sometime, not anytime soon, but when they give her a favorite item, are they going to increase that from 1 to 2 or maybe 2 to 3? Because I feel like Blanc could easily come back if they give that indomitability effect to like at least minimum 3 people. Easily. Imagine every burst rotation I use this character and I have indomitability for 10 seconds on 3 characters. Mind you, a character who's spamming that every single time, right? But the thing was, again, she's a 60-second cooldown character. You needed to have another person from her squad for her to be on a 20-second cooldown. And she had damage taken increased by 32% to all enemies. Very good, right? But back then, we didn't have Rouge. We only had Noir and Blanc, right? So today we're going to be bringing back nostalgia to the channel, and we're going to be showcasing Blanc in big 2025. It's so crazy because to me, I feel like Blanc and Noir kind of fell off, right? I have a lot of people over these supports, right? I have obviously Crown over her, Little Mermaid, Helm. I have all those characters over them. I have Mast and Anchor over the duo. I have Tia and Naga still over the duo. I have heck, Naga and Crown over the duo. I have Emma and Yunwa over the duo. I even have Grave and Aid, Bunny Aid over the duo. I feel like the Bunny Girls are still meta in a sense. Well, not meta, but I feel like they still have value, but I feel like they're no longer meta. I can't sit there and say they're meta, and I can't sit there and say like they're still up there, because there's like, again, I just named what, 10 characters that are better than them now, and it's crazy because back then these characters were what Crown is today is what these characters were back then, right before Crown came out, literally. So it's so crazy to me how much these characters kind of fell off over the years, but we're gonna try to bring them back in big 2025. So we are going into hard campaign. Now I am about 200,000 power down. I don't know if that's going to be good enough for you guys. A lot of you guys don't like when I'm only 200,000 power down, and you guys want me to be 1,000,000 power down in hard campaign. I just don't push in hard campaign, I'm sorry, right? But this is the team we're going in right now. It's kind of a mixture of all the metas, basically Blanc and Noir, Red Hood from back then when she was also on the meta team with them, and then like some of the newer characters, Little Mermaid and Red Hood, right? Or Rappy Red Hood. Again, I do think having damage taken increase is still very viable in big 2025. And obviously the healing, like I feel like the healing is great and all, but it's not something that like I go crazy over, right? I don't go crazy over the healing or anything like that, but it's definitely like, if you guys take a look, they're gonna get healed, right? And you're gonna notice Little Mermaid is not going to stop healing, right? You're not gonna notice she's not going to stop healing. That's the one thing about this character. I have to go on Red Hood because of Burst Generation, right? But this character will not stop healing. All of these characters right here, they're not going to stop healing, right? And back then I feel like you know, the shields and stuff like that weren't as important. Obviously nowadays the shields are really important. These characters are going to constantly heal, but the heals now obviously are not enough. Like, she's only healing 66,000, right? She's only healing 66,000, but it is every second. So having that, I guess, heal is good. And then again, indomitability to whoever that matters to, like 4 million heal, pretty decent, but whoever that matters to, boom, right? But can you get by in Nikke with the bunny girls, right? Obviously, if you have Crown, if you have like anybody better, made a mask, Anchor, whoever, if you have those characters, obviously use them. They're still better. Emma, Yunwa, I feel like all these characters are just better. Heck, even Grave, she's better, right? But like, is it doable? And it seems like it is doable, right? It really does seem like it is doable. Obviously, I don't think this team can really support any older characters. I feel like you could use the bunny girls in big 2025 no problem if you have them supporting the new meta characters. So literally what we have right here, Rappy, Little Mermaid. Red Hood is still good. Like, Red Hood was never gonna, like, you know, be an ass character. She's still very good. That's why she's on the team. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you have these supports to support some of these new meta characters, you should be able to clear content. Okay, somebody got deleted and it was Rappy, right? Obviously Noir got to her chance to shine right there. I don't know what's going to happen here. Somebody's dying and it looks like it's going to be, okay, it's not Little Mermaid, or not Little Mermaid. It's not, don't die on me. Boom, 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 indomitability. We have indomitability on Red Hood. She can't die. Red Hood can't die. This was the meta. This was the meta. This was the meta. It's like, this is how it felt back in the day, though, genuinely. Like, genuinely speaking, this is how it felt back in the day, right? When you use these characters, it's like you're watching a playoff basketball game or the freaking World Cup or baseball, whatever sport you like, right? And you have those announcers going like, oh my God! Like, you know what I'm saying? These characters were like LeBron James, the way she's clutching. This Blanc girl, she was clutching like crazy. She died there, but she gave Red Hood indomitability. No matter what had happened there, they could not have killed Red Hood, and she was in her burst skill. We were guaranteed going to win once she got indomitability off. I'm telling you, the nostalgia behind that Blanc chick is crazy. And it's like, I always sit here every single day. I sit here and I ask myself, how can they top Crown? And it's really simple. If you really sit down and read Crown's kit, it's not as crazy as people might think it is. I mean, that's a kind of like a crazy statement. It is crazy, but like, it's not like a kit where you, like, I feel like Cinderella is going to be a character they're going to absolutely struggle with when it comes to replacing her in terms of the top DPS. The only way I see them doing that is if they make the new best broken character ever to a point where like that character literally makes every other content in the game look like a joke. That's what I'm thinking, right? But if we look at Crown, right, compare not necessarily Blanc to Crown, but we're going back to Crown's kit. If we take a look at Crown is a character that it's really doable, right? We look at her skills. Okay, she gives a crazy reload speed buff and a crazy attack buff, a crazy defensive buff to whoever uses their burst skill, who doesn't use their burst skill, right? That first skill is going to be insanely difficult to top. But her second skill, she gives herself taunt, indomitability. Oh, I don't know. Maybe Crown is gonna be very hard to replace too. I don't know, right? But I feel like they can do it because, like I said, back before Crown even came out, like that's what we were saying about Blanc, and Blanc had an amazing run. Blanc literally had a whole year, right? Because Blanc came right after Dorothy, right after the first anniversary or the 0.5 anniversary. right? Blanc Noir came out right after that, and then Crown came out for the 1.5 anniversary. Blanc and Noir were like the best supports for a year. And then obviously, I think, what's her name? Okay, Blanc is dead, but we got the burst skill off. Now, here's the problem. We do not have a burst 2. That is an issue. We don't have a burst 2 because Red Hood just used her burst 3, which means we don't have a burst 2. We have a burst 1. Red Hood technically is our burst 2, but we don't have cooldown reduction. And we cannot expect them to survive for as long as they, we can't expect them to survive that long. So we're going to have to redo this. Right, I think it may be if I stop yapping and I just pay attention, we can get it done, obviously. But that was just one run. Always make sure you guys redo your stages, because sometimes it's like you might have just like a iffy first run, if that makes sense, right? Realistically, I should be using Red Hood first. I don't know why I don't have Red Hood going first, right? I don't know why I have Rappy going first and not Red Hood first, because Red Hood could really just handle all these characters. Not to mention, if I use Red Hood's burst 1 as well, quite crazy, right? Boom, indomitability up, and then here's Red Hood. Rappy died, but she didn't have the lowest HP. You know what I'm saying? So that was another thing, I guess, right? It doesn't matter necessarily. I don't want to say it didn't matter who didn't have, like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, now we lost our burst 1 and our burst 2. I'm gonna go back and I'm just gonna switch these two, right? I'm just gonna switch these two. And also, what stage is this? Like, what typing are these characters, right? Is it iron still? It is iron still, so we could do this, right? But like I was saying, yeah, Blanc had a year run. Crown came out. Crown is about to have a 2-year run. It's gonna be very hard for them to replace Crown. It really is. But and then if we're comparing like Crown to like Blanc, right? Why Crown is so much better and stuff like that, obviously, like right now we would have a shield, right? Crown's shield is practically indomitability, right? If you guys look at Blanc right now, she has a shield, right, which protects all allies from one major blow. But like Crown basically has indomitability on the shield. Rappy died there because she doesn't have the lowest HP, right? Whoever has the lowest actual base HP is the people who are going to be protected. We should be fine regardless if they don't kill anybody. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. Red Hood. Red Hood still do Red Hood things. I'm not worried because I think Red Hood has indomitability right now. But we don't have another burst 3. You get what I'm saying? So we're kind of done here. But how far could this meta have gone? That's the question of the day. Is this meta gone super far? Right, boom. We have indomitability on Red Hood. We do have indomitability on Red Hood. Look at Red Hood. Oh, now here's my thing. Right? If they don't kill Red Hood and Red Hood gets a... you know what's so crazy? If they didn't kill Red Hood and Red Hood got a burst skill off, she would have just killed them all. Because she would have been healing with her skill too. I don't necessarily know what I want to try here because I could take you off, right? We don't need Noir anymore, right? I could technically put in Rouge. I could put in Cindy. I could put in Helm, right? And then just kind of have that comp. Let's try it. I doubt it's going to work. But we could just do that, right? What time is it? Because reset's about to happen, right? It's 3:17. I need reset to wait. Right? Boom. Okay. Now Cinderella just deletes anything in her path. Boom. Everybody just... Okay, Helm is dead. Sure. Well, I don't know why Helm is dead. It's okay. Helm being dead is a problem. It is a problem. Right? And then, yeah, no, we're just done. Let's just end the showcase. There's only so much Blanc could do for me, right? But you know what's so crazy? Let me switch to a team that's actually like, where's the meta? This right here, for example, right? Let's use this exact same comp actually, right? Actually, let's use the best team in the game, right? Let's do this. Right, look at the difference of how easy content is now with like this new meta, and this is obvious. Like a new meta is obviously going to be better for the new content, whatever, right? But I want you guys to really tap into how easy it is now when you have Crown on your team, right? Everybody's just deleted within seconds. There's not a single character who's a threat to us. Not a single character on the screen right now is a threat to us. Enter burst generation again. Bop, bop, boop. Cinderella delete. Bro, how are they gonna replace her? How are they ever gonna replace this character, Crown? I will never know. You know what I'm saying? I will never know. All I know is that, bro, it hurts me. Like nostalgia wise, like, you know, someone who's been there with Blanc for a long time, it doesn't hurt me as much because I would always pick Crown over Blanc. Like, I just like that character completely better. Overall design, overall character, overall kit, overall everything. Crown is always gonna be over Blanc for me. But like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like when I make these videos, I'd be missing 2023 Nikke. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be missing what Nikke used to be and how the meta used to be. Right? Because now it's just like you have all these crazy DPSs. Back then you didn't have all that. You know what I mean? So I feel like sometimes I just be missing like that old nostalgic 2023 vibe, 2023 feeling, and like how, because back then, I don't know how to explain it realistically, because back then is how I was feeling, or how I'm feeling now. Right? Back then I was like, okay, Blanc and Noir are a problem. Like how I'm saying Crown is a problem. That's what I'll say back then. But now I feel like because obviously Blanc and Noir are not even like, where does Proudwood have them under tier list? Let's just take a look, for example. Let's take a look. SS, SS, and SS. So where's Noir? SSSA. These two characters used to be AAA everywhere. Now Noir's SSSA. This character was triple S everywhere. This character was triple S everywhere. And again, that's what you call a meta shift, right? Until this day, Tia, like her ranking was practically the same from when she dropped, and Naga's was practically the same when she dropped. Actually, Naga's probably went up. I don't remember Naga ever being triple S at the very beginning when she first came out, right? But like, I don't know. That's crazy. Nikke is a new game, right? New meta, new all that stuff. But you guys let me know what you guys think about Blanc. For any of you guys who are new into Nikke and you guys didn't really get to experience this meta, what do you guys think about this meta, right? Just like, I guess, kind of seeing it through my channel or from this video right here. What do you guys think about Blanc and Noir or their run from my best of explaining it, or if I explained it very good, hopefully. And then also for the people who are here like with this meta, what would you say? Do you guys prefer the meta now? Did you guys miss this meta right here? I don't know. But it's your boy Zxous. I love every single one of you guys. I'm out. Peace.